What's up everyone, Patrick here, welcome back, and moving on to the next question, we got to find this limit here. The limit as x approaches root 3 of x squared minus 3 all over 3 minus the square root of 6 plus x squared. So notice with this limit here in particular, we can't do a direct substitution because if we plug in root 3 for the x values, notice that the denominator will be 0. We'll have root 3 to the power 2, which would be 3. Plus 6 is 9, square root of 9 is 3, 3 minus 3 would be 0. Notice the top would be 0 as well. Square root of 3 squared is 3 minus 3 is 0. So we got to go about this in a different way. What we can do actually here is we can rationalize the denominator. Notice how there's a square root there. So what we can do is we can multiply the denominator by the conjugate. So we would just change this middle sign. This sign within the square root would stay constant. And then we'd also have to multiply the numerator by that amount. Right, just multiplying it by the conjugate. So what happens here now is the top, I'm going to leave both of those expressions separate. So we'll have 3 plus the square root of 6 plus x squared like that. But then notice that these two expressions, because they're conjugates that are multiplying, we just have to multiply the ends. So what we'll do, 3 times 3 is 9, then minus positive, that's a minus. And then the square root of 6 plus x squared times the square root of 6 plus x squared is just 6 plus x squared, like that. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a limit as x approaches root 3, x squared minus 3, 3 plus root 6 plus x squared. I'm going to keep the numerator as is. What happens in the denominator? We distribute the negative. So what would happen is we'd have 9 minus 6 minus x squared, and then this would simplify to negative x squared plus 3, right? 9 minus 6 would be 3. And so we'd end up with negative x squared plus 3 over here. And then notice we could take out a negative from this to make it equal to x squared minus 3. And then notice the x squared minus 3's are going to cancel out. So we take out a negative, we'll have x squared minus 3. That could be like your next line. I'm just going to write it over here just to save space. And then notice these cancel out. And now we can do a direct substitution. So we would have this negative, there's like a negative 1 there. And then we'd have 3 plus 6 plus the square root of 3 squared. Square root of 3 squared is 3 plus 6 is 9. So this would be 3 plus 3 is 6, so negative 6 ends up being the final answer for that limit. So we had to rationalize it, and then we had to do a little factoring in the denominator for those factors to cancel out. Negative 6 is the final answer.